Hello and welcome to this video. So in this video we're going to do a very quick overview of CSS and HTML. If you're familiar with web development, at all familiar, then please feel free to skip to the next video, but in case you aren't, then it's probably worth just spending a few minutes looking at how things work. I'm on a website called Sandbox.io. It's a very good place for being able to play around with code and see the results directly in the browser. And in the middle there's this Create Sandbox button. I'm going to click that to create a sandbox. When you click Create Sandbox, you'll be presented with a menu that looks a little bit like this. I'm signed in. I've created an account already a while ago, so I actually have templates I've used recently, but the one we're going to use is this vanilla JS one here. So just take a click on that and you should have something that looks like this on your screen. So we have an index.html on the left hand side. That's the root HTML file for our web page. And then we have a styles.css and an index.js, which is a JavaScript file. So the first thing I'm going to do inside index.js is just delete all of the code inside here because we don't need it, and just Control S to save. In styles.css also I'm just going to delete everything inside there because we don't need that either. And then in index.html we're going to take a very quick look at how we build web pages. So HTML files are built out of HTML markup, so it's HTML's hypertext markup language. And basically you have lots of elements. So we can see here we have a head element denoted by these angled brackets, and this is the element opening here and the element then closing here with this / after the first angled bracket. And these are then other elements, so a title and a metadata element, that are contained inside this particular head element. Now when you have an opening of an element, you have the name inside the angled brackets, then some content, and then the closing, what's known as the closing tag of the particular element here with the /. Some elements, like this meta one here, don't actually have any content inside them like this, so they open and close all inside the same what's known as tag. So here we have meta saying that the character set is UTF-8 for this page, and the tag closes there. And you'll see both variants depending on the elements that are used. Inside the HTML tag here, which tells the browser this is an HTML file, or inside there's HTML that should be presented, we have two sections, a head and a body. The head contains stuff that you don't see, contains a title which you see then on top of the tab usually when you run your web page, and the body contains all of the content that you'll see on your web page. So I'm going to delete this script tag here to take out the index.js because we don't need that. I'm going to delete this div as well, so we have absolutely nothing on our web page. So HTML is made up, as I said, of these elements or using different tags, and there are many different tags we can use. I don't want to go through them all, but just very quickly as a demo, if I type H1 and enter, this is an H1, it's a large heading. So if I just type hello here and save, you can see I get hello in large text. If I change this to H2, so I have an H2 heading, it'll be slightly smaller. We can see that it updates live on the right hand side, which is really good as well. And there are lots of different elements we can use. A P is a paragraph. I'll just type para in here for now so you can see para appear below here. And there are also things like, let's say, a button element as well. So I'll just type click, so you can click the button here. And there are many elements, and you can look those up online. The thing you need to know is that when we have this syntax here with the angular brackets and then the /, we're opening and closing elements that can have different content. The other thing we will be using is something called CSS, and CSS is cascading styling sheets. It's used to style, so color and make things look nice on your web page if you're not like me and you're actually a good designer. To demonstrate a little bit how we'll be using CSS inside our web dash, we're going to use something called a div element. So a div element is like a container of lots of other elements. So this div here, I'm going to type some content inside this div, and I'm going to type box. So here we have just some plain text inside a div element, and in fact let's move this up like so. Now let's say that I want to put a border, a red border around my box here. How would I go about doing that? Well, I can do that using CSS. So if I go to styles.css and type div and then open the curly braces, this will apply all of the styles that I define inside these curly braces to any div element on the web page. So I can say something like border, and then it'll automatically put a colon for me. So this is like key and value. And I can say I want a solid border and it's 1 pixel and it's red. So I have a solid red border. And now when I go back to my web page, what I find is I don't have a red border on my box, yet I've just defined some style to say make a red border on here. And the reason is because I haven't included inside my HTML page a link to tell it to load in the styles in the sheet. So I'm going to type link here, there's the : CSS, And now we can see it already creates this style.css automatically, but that doesn't exist. Ours is called styles, and ours is also inside the source folder. So now you can see that when I'm referencing my styles folder, it's looked in the styles folder, it's found our styling that we're defining for a div, and it's applied our border, our red border, to our div, as you can see. Now something else we can do here is we can make this a little bit more like a box. So we'll say that the width should be 100 pixels. And now you can see that the box has changed. And we can also make the height of our box 100 pixels. And you can see that the height of the box has changed. Now the text is very close to the edge of our box. So what we can do is we can define some padding, and we'll just type 24 pixels, and that will make 24 pixels of padding on the top, the left, the bottom, and the right. So padding, basically the content that's inside our div, will have a padding of that much before the edges of whatever's containing it. So the box text has a padding of 24 pixels in all directions from the edge. We can also use something else called a margin and do almost exactly the same thing. We'll make this also 24 pixels. What this does in this case is put that amount of pixels outside the element in question. Now I'm going very quickly here because we'll be using these in making our dashboard, but I just want you to see some of the techniques that we'll be using later on. Now one thing with your web page is you can often end up with lots and lots of div elements, and you might not want to put this styling on every single div element, only on particular div elements. So if I take this div element that we have here, for example, and copy it again to another box, but this time I'll call this, let's say, glass. And maybe I don't want my glass to have a red border, but the problem is I'm saying with my styling sheet that divs should have the border. With CSS, you can get around this by adding things called selectors. So we can add two kinds, mainly to elements. One is called an ID, so I'll make this ID box. And what we can do is tell the CSS to please only style elements with the ID box by using a hash to have a red border like this. And when I do that, you can see that now we have no red border around the glass. That's gone back completely to normal, but the box still is styled as it is. IDs can only be used though for one element. They're unique IDs for a particular element in your web page. And you might find that, let's say that we have a couple of boxes and we want to style more than one of these using the ID. Now you'll notice here that Code Sandbox has actually managed to realize that we're intending to style this second div as well as this first div, despite the fact I've said these should be unique. Well, unfortunately, browsers try to fix things for you a lot of the time when things are going wrong, which can be really bad for debugging. And here in this case, despite the fact that an ID should be unique, it's actually realized what we're trying to do here and has made the red box anyway, but this isn't correct. If we want to use something for more than one element, then we use something called a class, and that's something that we can use for many different elements. That means then in the style sheet that instead of the hash that we use for an element with an ID, we use a dot for the class, like so. The other thing we're going to need to do is lay things out. So let's make ourselves 3 boxes, and I'll make myself a little bit of space here. When we have our KPIs, we're going to want to put a table of our KPIs in the middle of the page, and to do that we use something called flex layouts in CSS. So to do that we're going to make another div that surrounds our boxes. Now when I save that, nothing's changed because this div is purely a container that's containing our boxes. What we can do is give this div an ID and call it container. Then we can take this ID, go inside the CSS, put the hash container and give this also some styling. So we'll give this a border, and we'll say that it's solid and 2 pixels. This will look very ugly, but it doesn't matter, and blue. And you can see now that we've got our blue border on our div that's containing our 3 boxes. Remember, we could take the margin off this box up here, and then we get the boxes snug up against the top of the div like so. And now what I'd like is I'd like these boxes to be in a row. So the way we do this is we tell our container that we want to display anything that's inside it, that it contains, as flex, and that will now put those items in a nice row for us. And we can use flex to align items inside a particular div however we want, either as rows or columns. So here we can say justify content, and here I'd like to put space between. So here we'll get the space that's not taken up by our boxes put in between them. I can also do space evenly, and they'll be evenly spaced throughout the div that we have, like so. I can then go back to my index.html and copy and paste this whole lot here, but now change the container ID to a class because we haven't got them unique anymore, and go back to here and change this to a dot. And you can see now that I've got 2 rows with the boxes as well. And then maybe I want to have a bit of separation between those, so I'll put a margin of 12 pixels, let's say, around the box. And that's really all there is to it with HTML and CSS. When we start building our KPI dashboard, you're going to see use of elements like this and use of CSS like this. And you're going to see the use of a little bit of JavaScript, but the syntax, although different to Python, the concepts are exactly the same. So we'll kind of get used to that as we do it. So that's a very, very brief introduction into HTML and styling of HTML elements. And in the next video, we'll actually get started with building the web dash. So thanks so much for watching and see you in the next video.